is the start of my slow train journey from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. I'm taking the railroad the old-fashioned way, by crossing into Johor first, and then continuing deep into Malaysia on the KTM Intercity line. This feels like a once-in-a-lifetime ride, because after December 12, 2025, this diesel service will gradually disappear. The new electric ETS trains will take over the whole line from JB Sentral to Kuala Lumpur. As you follow along, everything you see is from my point of view. This way, you can picture yourself doing this trip too, even if you're traveling alone. Here I am queuing at the Woodlands train checkpoint. It looks busy, but the process is simple once you know where to go. I keep my passport in one hand and my KTM ticket ready on my phone. The signs here are clear. Just follow the train to JB direction. If you're a solo traveler, this part might feel daunting, but stay steady and follow the flow of people. The officers don't allow filming, so I'm only showing the public areas. Once I clear immigration on the Singapore side, I head down to the platform for the Shuttle Tebrau. This is the little commuter train that takes you across the border. It runs every 30 minutes or so, and the ride is less than 5 minutes. I step into the carriage, find the window seat, and settle in. The doors close, the horn sounds, and we're on our way. The train rolls slowly over the causeway. This part always feels a little magical, leaving Singapore behind and entering Malaysia by rail. A tiny border crossing, but full of meaning. And here we are in JB Sentral. If you're lucky, you might spot the iconic Eastern and Oriental Express train waiting here for its departure to Singapore. The JB Sentral station opens into a large concourse with shops and cafes. It's bright, lively, and easy to navigate. The next day, I am back at the JB Sentral's KTM Intercity platform to catch my long train ride to Gemas. Booking tickets is simple with the KTM app. I booked mine in September for this December trip. December is school holiday season in Malaysia and Singapore, so tickets do sell out quickly. Once the booking is confirmed, the ticket is emailed to you. All you need at boarding time is the QR code. Here's the platform for the JB Sentral to Gemas train. This train is pulled by a diesel locomotive. You only see these on the Southern Line and on the East Coast Line up to Tempat. I walk towards my carriage. Inside, the carriage feels cozy. The seats are fully padded and recline more than I expected. Half the seats face forward and half face backward. If you prefer one direction, you can choose it at booking. There are curtains, overhead racks, and a small pull-down tray table. Legroom is decent until the person in front reclines. Luckily, on my trip, the carriage wasn't full. I'm walking now to the dining car. It's one of my favorite parts of this train. From here, I order a hot coffee for 2 Malaysian ringgit. Breakfast in the cafe car is comforting and easy on the wallet. A nice change from what budget airlines usually charge. I like sitting in the dining car because the tables make it easy to type, read, or just watch the scenery slide by. If you didn't have time for breakfast in Singapore or JB Sentral, the dining car is a good backup. Here's a pro tip. I like to use a small bicycle lock to secure my bag when I walk away from my seat. For many solo female travelers, the toilets are important to know about. This train has Western-style toilets and Asian squat toilets. The toilets aren't perfect, though they are perfectly usable when you need a quick stop. There's no hand soap in the toilet, so it's a good idea to carry your own alcohol-based sanitizer. There are no personal plug sockets at the seats, but each carriage has one shared socket at the front if you need to top up your battery. This is a good reminder to bring a power bank. The carriage can get a little chilly, so it's worth having a light jacket if you get cold easily. Unlike the newer trains, there aren't any luggage racks at the end of the carriage. Most of us either lift our bags onto the overhead shelf or keep them on the floor. We leave Johor Bahru's city blocks behind and ease into the countryside. Kilometre after kilometre of oil palm plantations stretches out on both sides. Further inland, the land starts to change. The terrain becomes more rugged. The train curves through wide valleys, crossing small rivers and streams. This part of the journey is slow, steady, and peaceful. It's a nice reminder that Malaysia's countryside is vast and full of quiet charm. And here we are, Gemas. This is the major railway junction where the southern diesel trains meet the electric ETS trains heading north. My train arrives just after 1 in the afternoon. I'll have a 2.5-hour layover before the next train to Kuala Lumpur. The station is small and easy to navigate. There's an old railway station building about 5 minutes away, and it now houses a small railway museum. It's a simple way to pass the time if you enjoy train history. There are also places to eat nearby, so don't worry about lunch. Even as a solo traveler, Gemas feels relaxed and safe. I ended up at Gemas Curry Point, a small local mamak stall. Locals told me this is one of the nicest spots to eat in town. I ordered a plate of bihun goreng and a lime juice for 9 ringgit 50 cents, and both were surprisingly good. This marks the end of the first chapter of my journey, Singapore to JB and then JB to Gemas. The next chapter will take us north from Gemas to Kuala Lumpur on the electric ETS train. That part of the story comes in the next video.